Will you join us?
It's showtime.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment.
You're not here, you missing out, because this show...
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, listen up.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
It's time for the Alliance Guys podcast.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Alliance Guys podcast, a presentation of alliance-wrestling.com, your number one source for news and information for the National Wrestling Alliance. My name is J Cal, and if things look and feel a little bit different today, well, they are. You see, this is the Alliance Guys podcast, but today apparently it is the Alliance Guy podcast because we've had some call outs today. We had some no shows today. We had some inability to make the live stream this evening. So what that means is a couple of things. One, it means I'm going to talk more to you guys directly tonight. And two, it means I'm going to be a little bit more active while we're on TikTok as well. Going to be talking to the folks right there, right now, that are on the old tickety tag. So what's up, everybody? Welcome to the show again. My name is J Cal, not Kevin Owens. And I appreciate you guys being here tonight. We're going to talk about a couple of different things. Of course, we usually talk about power. And Sean Meg, I see you in the chat, sir. Welcome. Thanks for hanging out. We're going to talk about a lot of things NWA today. Some I can't talk anymore, apparently. There's some news going around. They've had some more match announcements that were made for this upcoming Signature Live event. I say this, but it's not going to happen till October. October 17th is the NWA Saw Win, which we're all eagerly anticipating because some of the matches, some of those matches are looking pretty freaking phenomenal. And they've only announced 3 matches. So I'm excited about it. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to think. Of course, not just Saw Win. There's lots of other things to talk about. Our boy, the NWA president, the booker, the main man, pots and pans, Mr. William Patric Corgan has been nominated for an award with the International Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame. We'll talk about that also. We have some more faces that, again, have been announced for Saw Win. We got some shows that are coming up to represent the NWA across the territory system that we'll get into that as well. But without standing on circumstances, let's talk a little bit about this week's Power episode. Now, if you guys are unaware, Power comes to you live every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific on the Roku app, Roku Sports. It's also played a replay of the episode, I guess, appears at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. I've to be quite honest with you, I've never watched the broadcast on the Roku app, specifically the Roku Sports channel. I tend to watch it the on-demand version. Again, it's also on the Roku app. And the on-demand version pops up immediately the day on Tuesdays. This is both a blessing and a curse. I think if you're the NWA, fans are able to watch the content. I think the drawback, though, is part of being on Roku Sports is that you are helping to bring more eyeballs to the content, to Roku Sports. And I feel like it's counterintuitive. If the show is available live, why would if the show is available on demand, why wait for it to air on Roku Sports when you can watch it whenever you choose to watch it? I think it's one of the biggest downplays, one of the biggest mistakes that the NWA has made with this whole Roku adventure. And maybe that's not their choice. Maybe that is a Roku thing, but you would think that the on-demand episode would be available Wednesday, after it's supposed to debut on Power. But evidently that's not what's going on. Do want to shout out Steve G and Willie Bowen. They're both on our YouTube chat. We got Sean Mega over here on TikTok. Now, Sean points out that both versions have ads. I got to be honest, Sean. I don't think I've seen a single ad on the demand version. I'm trying to rack my brain here. I don't think they show ads on the demand version. I could be wrong. How great is that if I'm able to block that out from memory? And I mean, at the end of the day, too, like I'm sure those numbers are also measured and calculated and help determine like how successful the programming is to Roku and Roku Sports. But at the end of the day, I feel like if they're not if they are not capitalizing on the advertising, that seems like a big misstep, at least for me. I mean, the idea is, we're seeing this more and more. It is a content-driven app. People only go to Roku to watch entertainment. It's not social media. It's not like X where people can go and tweet. Why do we call it tweet if it's on X? I never understood that. It's not like Meta where you could go to a marketplace or see pictures or clips of videos. It is specifically for viewing content, wrestling content for the NWA, but really Roku has all kinds of channels and shows on that platform. So it's not like there isn't a lot to watch on Roku. And you would think that driving more people to Roku Sports would be beneficial to them. But I digress. That's a lot to talk about. Well, we're just getting ready to talk about Power. So let's do that. Let's talk about Power, because this week was the first episode after the Crockett Cup. And the really great thing about the NWA is they've been able to pivot. I mentioned this earlier, not only on the pre-party, but also on last week's the Alliance guys. We had a very rough 2025. If you're an NWA fan, 2025 has been a mixed bag. Let's not forget that 2024 ended on the somber note that we lost former World's Heavyweight Champion, the Dane event, Jack Stane. And because of the delays in production from actually filming the shows to actually those shows airing, I mean, we had a lot of reminders of the passing of Jack Stane. And although personally, I'll never forget the man, it was a sad way to start the year on that really sad note. I mean, he's not he wasn't an old man. And this is not supposed to be about that. So I'll move on quickly, but it just felt like the NWA has been in a stalling pattern. And so, shows that were filmed in early January or late December, we didn't even see till around March of this year. The shows that were filmed in March, we didn't even see till May, June. And of course, the Crockett Cup was filmed in May, and we really didn't get through that until the first week of September. So there is a lot of delay getting content from the day that it's taped to the day that it airs for the viewing audience. But and on top of that too, I'll just be perfectly honest with you. The first part of 2025, a lot of the NWA content wasn't very good. We had multiple matches of the Slime Balls and the heavy hitters, the Team Murdochs, Trevor Murdochs and Mike Knox, the NWA World Tag Team Champions. And it didn't really go anywhere. And we had Carson Drake being pushed towards the main event, a position I don't think he was ready for. Didn't really go anywhere. We had, the entire tag team division kind of was floundering. You had Murdochs, you had BFT, and you had the Immortals, but nothing was really moving in a positive direction. We get to Crockett Cup, and I really feel like the NWA took a huge step forward, a much needed step forward. We had the Crockett Cup crowned a new Crockett Cup champions in the Immortals. We saw a new TV champion crowned in Brian Idol. Unfortunately, the Women's World Title match did not make its way to the Roku app, but you could see that on our YouTube channel. They also had the World Champion. Having Rhino on the card was a big get, but I'll be honest, that might have been one of the more disappointing matches at the Crockett Cup, which overall was still a very excellent event. So now we're here at Power, the first Power post Crockett Cup. And these are always indicative of what the direction the NWA will be going forward. And we had a lot more matches this week. We had a total of 5 matches and that great promo with the Pope to kind of close out the show. We haven't had that much wrestling in a while. And so without any further ado, let's just get to it, right? The show kicked off with a women's match that featured the pretty prima donna Kylie Page challenging Gabby, whose last name I forgot for the moment. What's up, Lesh Dog? And Gabby, who is a newcomer to the NWA, but not a newcomer to pro wrestling. In fact, our good friend James H. Jackson shared that they had actually had an encounter before at the at his home promotion, Beyond Wrestling. And so, well, that's not a fun way to do that. I guess I can't have the picture and my face on at the same time. So this match started off with they called her the Nomi. I guess being a gnome is part of her gimmick, which is kind of weird because she's a powerhouse. And it was awkward listening to Billy Corgan talk about her weight. Like, I'm like, wait, what are we doing here? You're not supposed to talk about a woman's weight. Come on, Billy Corgan. I acknowledged you, Kesh Dog. What do you want from me, Kesh Dog? I called you Kesh Dog. See that when you're going solo, sometimes you're gonna misspeak, and there's no one else to catch you on that. Sorry, Lesh Dog on TikTok. Follow Michael Lesh Dog on TikTok. Tell him you're part of the alliance. Kevin Owens friendly. Anyways, getting back to this matchup with the Nomi, Gabby's just all kinds of muscle. I guess they described her as a power lifter. And she quite literally was throwing her weight around, no pun intended. Kylie is on the on the smaller side for even the women wrestlers. So this was a stark comparison in a woman who is, a power lifter, and a woman who, I mean, by all measurements, Kylie is very petite, and I guess that's the best way to say it. But what makes Kylie so dangerous in the pro wrestling ring is that she is vicious. She is tenacious, and she has that quote unquote ruthless aggression. And that's what we saw in this match. It didn't matter if she was being tossed around by Gabby. It didn't matter what Gabby tried to do. Oops, wrong graphic. It doesn't matter what Gabby was trying to do. It seemed like Kylie had an answer for everything. What I really particularly enjoyed about this match is it wasn't a squash in that, Gabby just came out there to take the L, but it really helped establish her as a potential face that sticks around. We were talking about this just on Monday. The NWA is desperate to add some talented women onto the roster, and this was one of those opportunities where they brought in a new face to the NWA. She came in, she performed. I'll get to that in just a second, Steve. She came in, she performed, she looked good. She didn't have to be perfect. She bumped for Kylie and kind of solidified Kylie as a cute little Wolverine, like a little bunny with claws. I mean, she was just out there really being so aggressive in the match. And it's what Kylie needs to do. I mean, Kylie is a former NWA Women's Tag Team Champion with Ella Envy, but we haven't seen Kylie in the title picture, not even for the women's television title. She hasn't been back in the tag team title picture. So this was a good opportunity for her to showcase her goods. Remember, she's coming off that loss to Natalia Markova at the Crockett Cup. This was a big rebound victory for her. And perhaps this is a stepping stone to what happens at the 77th anniversary show. I mean, actually, we know that it's not, but maybe it's a stepping stone for what we see at Samhain. Maybe she gets a television championship match. We'll see. I have to wait and see. Miss Mia, thanks for liking the live. I appreciate you. Caddy, I appreciate you hanging out. Ringside Riley, thanks for jumping in. I appreciate you. Let's see. Yeah. So that was a great way to kick off the show. A good opener. We didn't have to get too into it. Now, Steve G, this is where it's great. We have a dialogue because it's just you and me right now. Well, it's not just you and me. It's you, me, and everyone else on TikTok. But there's no one else in the studio with me, so I can have one-on-one conversations, and no one can stop me. So, Steve, you said, never mind, I'm wrong. Excuse me. I just want to make sure we're talking about Paige. Is Paige the AEW Storm and Monet? I think you already found the answer, but I'll say it for everyone else. No, she's not. Kylie Paige won the NWA Women's World Championship by defeating Camille, who's now in AEW or kind of in AEW, who had like a 700, 800 plus day run as Women's World Champion. Kenzie was kind of groomed to be the heir apparent to Camille. That was one of Camille's girls. When Camille was world champion, we would see Kenzie get these opportunities against Camille when maybe she hadn't even earned them yet, right? Like Kenzie was still kind of figuring things out, and she was getting opportunities to wrestle against Camille. Kenzie, we saw the development of Kenzie like in real time. We got to see her go from, basically the person that Camille kicked their ass. Later, we would see Kenzie team with Ella Envy, work her way to win the tag titles. She'd win the television title. She had that run with the TV title, lost it to Max the Impaler, only to turn around and win the Burke Invitational to get a shot at Camille to win the Women's World title at NWA 75th in St. Louis, Missouri. Spent the entire 2024 season as the Women's World Champion, defended against Maxine Paler at the 76th anniversary show, defended against Holly Hood Haley J, defended against Tiffany Nieves, defended against really anyone that the NWA could throw at her. And in fact, even had a victory over Natalia Markova. And what we saw in the last year is, I think maybe it was the right time for her to lose the title at NWA 77th anniversary show. Of course, we're not going to see those matches until much later, but I feel like that was a great way to get, have Kenzie there and represent the NWA. And at some point, all the champions got to lose their titles. Camille was kind of special because Camille came out and said she's the one time, she was only going to be the one time. And when she lost the title, she quietly, not quietly, but, unceremoniously signed with AEW. The writing was on the wall. We knew that was going to happen. With Kenzie, she's still young. Kenzie's got a lot of time and room for improvement. And I'm not saying that she's not a great wrestler, but she has plenty of time to get better. And she's only I think she's 26, maybe even younger, maybe 23. Now I have to look because 26 feels old for Kenzie Paige. We've been watching her for a long time. So let's see. Kenzie Paige. Oh my God. Kenzie Paige was born in 2002. Kenzie Paige was born on March 5th, 2002. So what that makes her 23? Good Lord. She's really good for as young as she is. And that just means she'll get better. It just means she'll get better. Real quick, did you see how Gigi Dolan is doing since being let go from WWE? No, I haven't seen much about Gigi Dolan right now. I did see that she did the interview with Paige or Saraya, whatever you want to call her. But I haven't really seen what Gigi Dolan has been up to since she's left. Jackson, you got it, buddy. You're on the list. And thanks for the gifts. Thanks for the likes. Appreciate you guys. And don't forget to tap the screen. If you're watching and you're enjoying this, tap the screen because it certainly helps with the Al Gore rhythm. That will take us to the next match. Steve G, I was there too. I was at the 2002 World Series when the Angels won. I was at Game 7 against the Giants. that was such a weird week, and thank you for allowing me to deviate because baseball's one of my other favorite passions. My brother had won a contest at our place of employment that allowed him to take a trip to Florida, and he took me to Florida with him. And so we were literally watching some of the Angel games in Florida, in Orlando, literally at the Margaritaville. And the group that I was with, my brother included, we're all Angel fans. So Tim Salmon hit a home run, and we all jumped up and run over to the TV to watch it. And the waiter thought we were running out on the bill. So that was a fun way to celebrate a Tim Salmon home run. Then we got home from that trip, and the World Series was still going on. My brother secured a ticket for himself to Game 7. It just so happens then he secured 2 more tickets for him and his partner at the time. And I got in on that 3rd ticket. I sat by myself. I didn't say a word the whole time. And up until that point, I was one of those people that would never go out in public by myself. Like if I went to see a movie, it was in a group. If I went out to dinner, I was in a group. I sat for 2.5 hours in that seat, did not get up once, watching my Angels win a World Series. It was one of the greatest moments of my life. I'll never forget it. And yes, I did say the Al Gore rhythm, Lesh Dog, because that's what powers the internet. And if you didn't know that, now you know. Impact said Power was okay this week. We're going to talk more about Power. I just got a little distracted because Steve G knows the buzzwords for me. You talk about the Angels, I'm in. You talk about the Transformers, I'm in. You talk about Voltron, I'm in. You talk about Star Wars, I'm in. You talk about comic books, I'm in. It's not hard to get me to be distracted, that's for sure. I've got FaZe Feliciano and that man Batman calling me Kevin Owens on TikTok. You're not missing much if you're choosing to be here on YouTube as opposed to TikTok. But nevertheless, we love those guys on TikTok. And Leshdog said TikTok viewers greater than YouTube viewers. I don't know, man. YouTube viewers, do you agree with that? Oh, damn, Steve. Oh, damn. Ow. Ow. Also, the last year the Angels were any good. Damn. They had a few good years after that. They made the playoffs a few times, but no, nothing was better than that. Hey, my buddy's here. What's up, Jaden?
Hey, yay. Sorry, I would have been on a minute or two earlier, but I was having trouble with it connecting to the mic. Kept saying I didn't have one.
That's problematic. Hey, you didn't miss much. I was just starting in on Power, and then Steve G distracted me with the Angels.
I'll come back in like a half hour then. No, just kidding.
We'll see. You don't even need a half hour. Give me like 10 minutes.
Actually, I heard it was a good episode, and I wanted to see this week. I just did not get time.
No, well, because you started school again. Yeah, this I will still say this, that the Angels, Jesus, that the NWA, I said it, Crockett Cup was one of the better shows of the year. In fact, 2025 was a very difficult year to be a fan of the NWA until the Crockett Cup. And I feel like the pivot after Crockett Cup is still pretty solid. This episode of Power was good. Not great, but good. It had, we had a lot of competitive matches. We had the Pope make his return in a promo form. But let me talk a little bit more about the NWA, the Power episodes, and then we have some more stuff to talk about as well. We'll get to all of it. Next up,
the Pope is the reason, by the way, I wanted to watch.
It was just a promo, but
doesn't matter.
It's vintage Pope. You know how he kind of blends like a little bit of Dusty Rhodes to what he is and what he has been. You know, the Fall Hossman. William Patric Corgan. I like the way the Pope talks. I can listen to him he can sell me card shirts, and I'd be in on that. So the next match that we had for tonight. Well, I guess I should say this. They started running promos during this as well. They had a promo with Colby Carino talking about how it wasn't his week last week at the ECW arena, losing that match to Tom Latimer, and that he knows that he worked hard for that, and somebody he's tired of watching not work hard is Carson Bartholomew Drake trying to renege on that dropping the title so that he would have a match with Tom Latimer at Hard Times. I know it's very convoluted, guys. I'm sorry. But they did sorry, there's some there's some chat on the YouTube, so I want to throw it up. Carson Drake has the worst theme in wrestling. There's a lot about Carson Drake that's the worst. His theme is maybe the least offensive. Dave Scooby says, if you want to see some good Angels baseball, watch Angels in the Outfield. Son of a bitch. So that was a good promo from Colby. It was supposed to set up a match between the two at 77. Of course, those plans had to be scrapped because Colby had a pretty serious injury that has kept him out of the ring and will probably keep him out of the ring for quite some time. So those plans had to been changed, but they would also have Carson kind of respond to Colby after the match with his promo, trying to set up a something between those two. So then we got a video package of Alex Misery and Lev at some sort of vintage video game store. And this is where shit kind of gets sideways for me. They're there, and Misery just wants to break stuff. Billy Trask returns to be the store clerk. You know, he was the comic book store clerk in Alabama, and I guess in Florida he is the video game clerk. And he kind of even admits to, like, we've done this before. Mike Mondo comes in looking for a gym, and this kind of shit makes the NWA hard to watch. I know what they're trying to do. And they just couldn't execute here. These kind of skits are not entertaining. They kind of plant seeds for storyline, but like, we could have done that in the locker room. You didn't even have to spend money going to a video game store to do this. So next we have Mondo, and Billy Trask is telling him that he's a big and strong Mondo, but there's another guy on the roster who's big and strong, Mims. And it kind of plants the seed that maybe we'll see Mims and Mike Mondo at some point down the road. In my notes, I literally wrote, I just hate these segments. They even brought back the motivational speaker, who that dude was a creep anyways. You
know who they should have brought in?
Who?
Omega Supreme.
You see him, don't you?
Yeah, I've been staring at him the whole damn time. Is that the animated series version that transfers into a ship?
No, this is, I think, like the bootleg version of, like, a knockoff version. I don't think it's an actual Transformer issue, but it does transform into the tank and the rails and all that. And I got it super cheap on the TikTok shop, where you could buy this on TikTok as well. And I thought it was so cool.
We should find a way to get sponsored by TikTok shops, because I'm sure alone from I want to buy that now because it's cool as hell and I want it.
You know what? I actually just got approved to start linking stuff, but I can't do it unless I'm in TikTok. And right now I'm in my Restream studio, so I can't do that. And then Kirby Kid on TikTok just said, I didn't know y'all watch or even collect Transformers. Yeah, man. Let's see. That's the only thing that I have visible. But I've also got this guy.
Is that Spike or is that Spike with Wiki?
I think it's Spike. I don't remember. I got it really cheap at Target, or excuse me, at Walmart. It was like $1. It was on clearance. And then I've got my bootleg Optimus Prime figure. But I also have more than that too.
Is it my fault for constantly sending you things?
You didn't send me any of this.
No, but I always send you Transformer stuff, and I'm sure it messes with your algorithm.
Maybe. I mean, look, I would be looking at Transformer stuff with or without you. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure that doesn't. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Yeah, still in the box because that's how I roll.
I hate Funko Pops.
You know, I kind of do too. Oh, I got 2 more to show off, and then I'll stop for a minute. But I have to. This actually, I got 3 more. I haven't put them together yet, but it's a Transformer Optimus Prime Lego set. And
That's more than meets the eye.
It is, honestly. And then I've got the G.I. Joe Transformer Megatron tank.
Cobra Hiss.
Yeah. And the last one, I really want to open up this guy too. Oh, shit. There goes everything. Just put that here for now.
We'll use this disaster to go into NWA Power soon.
Yeah. It's all part of the show, fellas. My microphone went on the ground too. Damn. Oh, man. Everything with see, Kirby, this is your fault. I blame you. I blame you, Kirby. You wanted to see the collection, and now everything's fallen down.
Did Kirby say something because I mentioned a Mega Supreme, or did he notice it too?
I think he noticed it too. All right. So wait, how does we look? Hey, I just found a new light source, and then this one as well. Look at that. Soundwave turns into the Dreadnought car. I mean, come on. That's how fantastic is that?
Zartana and what was the other brother? What was the twin?
This is like Tomox. No, that's the other guy.
Yeah, there's a
This turns into Bumblebee, which I was like, why turn it into Bumblebee? They Transformers already have a should have been Hound. All right. So there, Kirby. I hope you enjoyed me wrecking my studio for you, sir. Let's see. What I mean by accurate is if that I get scammed or not. I always want to know if TikTok Shop is actually accurate. Kirby, I've bought a lot of things. Oh my god. Lesh dog, man. I can't say stuff like that on the air. I'll message it to Jaden though. He would like that.
I'll probably laugh. And who knows, I might say it because I'm that way.
Let's see.
But no, I love it. There's this. I don't know if I sent it to you. I think I sent it to you before. But there's this like 4 foot, 3 foot tall Devastator statue that when you put each part looks heavy as hell, and when you put it together, it's just massive and amazing looking. And I want that so bad.
Lesh Dog is excited that I saw his comment. It was hilarious. I just can't say that sort of thing on TikTok, man. I like being monetized and stuff. And I'm sorry, chat. I know over here on YouTube, they're like, what the hell, man? What are we doing over here? Steve G says they're worth more unopened. Yeah, I know, but my wife gets mad at me. She's like, bro, you're spending all that money on Transformers. You better open them up. I'm like, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I'd rather open them. I don't care about the money. I want it because it's cool. That whole box thing, that's losers technology. You don't get you don't if you don't get toys to play with, then you shouldn't have toys. You should go have stocks instead and bonds and things like that. If you're not playing with your toys, then toys aren't investment. Toys are friends.
Yeah. And then Kirby asked if the Devastator was from G1 or from Revenge of the Fallen, and I'm pretty sure it was from G1.
Oh yeah, full on neon green and purple, gorgeous. The blaster cannon's bigger than some Transformers. It is absolutely massive in both scale and size and depth and weight and everything about it. It's so cool if you can find it. And it's a statue. Unfortunately, it's not a real Transformer, but it is such a amazing piece of artwork. And I've seen others. Like there's one of Megatron standing on some dead Autobots from the Ark that he's that's a beautiful one. And then there's other ones, but the Devastator's still my all-time favorite, and I want it so badly. And you know what else I want? I want a orange and I want a yellow Devastator with all the Constructicons.
I recently bought a Devastator, another purchase off of TikTok Shop, and it was a knockoff one, but it's still pretty cool. And you know what the problem is though is the older I get and the worse my eyesight is. It's like it's hard for me to put these things together anymore. It's like, oh man, I am getting old.
There's some
right.
third-party off-brand from Japan, not China, but I think they're actually from Japan, of some amazing Transformer sets that are not authorized, but better than pretty much anything Hasbro's putting out.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of good stuff like that. I remember for a while there, I was looking at on Temu for stuff because there was like I saw a lot of good stuff. Not Temu, Alibaba. There was a lot of good stuff on Alibaba, but again, that's neither here nor there.
I don't trust that place. I heard it's run by 40 thieves.
Oh my God, you're probably right though.
But no, the website. I wish I could remember what it was because I used to follow this one YouTuber, and she got me hooked onto it. And then she kind of fell off the earth because she got illness, and she has like more toys than we have brain cells, which probably is still more than 3. But but seriously, she had this one place that used to do these because she loved Jurassic Park, and they used to make these Jurassic Park statues and scenes and stuff like that. That the detail, like you could see individual scales on dinosaurs, and the detail was so amazing. And that's where I found they also had the Transformers that were like, again, the articulation and the detail, and they both fully transformed, and you could see like the bolts and screws and wires of these Transformers, and it's like full G1 mostly. There's occasionally like some other stuff. Like they have some ones that were Beast Wars, and they were basically the combination of those Jurassic Park thing I told you. I have like how the quality of the Jurassic Park along with the quality of the Transformers. If I ever find it, I will send it to you. But I want them so badly. They're so amazing, and they're big too. Like they're about the size. Each Transformer is about the size of that Omega Supreme back there.
Maybe you should not. Maybe you should not send it to me. Let me get back into Power a little bit more. Again, I did like this episode. I did not like the segment in the back. They had one more segment too that was pretty garbage. I'll talk about that when we get there. But then the next match is we get Midas Black. Is that his name? Yes, I said it correctly. Midas Black, who is a very interesting fella. His face kind of reminds me of Scorpio Sky a little bit, but he was trained by the dungeon, the Florida dungeon, not the Calgary dungeon. TJ and Natty Neihart have been trained this gentleman. And I'm wondering if like that was maybe the trade-off to get Natty to do the Crockett Cup is like, hey, start featuring our students in Tampa, which is like, that's a smart business decision anyways. These kids are training in Tampa. They are not connected to the WWE, not yet. It's not like Natty's school is a developmental for the WWE. So, the people that she's training could literally just show up anywhere. And if you're talented, like the NWA, this is a perfect opportunity for them to use these talents before they get signed and end up elsewhere. And this kid, I don't know if he's an actual kid or not, but he was pretty good. He looks like he could slide right into the NWA junior heavyweight division if they wanted to. Again, the gimmick was kind of goofy, but his in-ring was really, really good. Carson Drake is Carson Drake, and I've honestly had enough of him. I will say this, it looks like he figured out what beta-alanine is. It looks like he's been taking his creatine because his chest went from really flabby to really solid. And I mean, and we're just talking like this was in May. You and I saw him live in May, and he looked very flabby. And I know it doesn't take a lot because I'm going through the process right now too. He looked really chiseled, and that's weird to say, but Carson Drake looked chiseled on this episode of Power. It's funny. Michael Leshdog said he's the Temu Dolph Ziggler.
That's an insult to Temu. Let alone Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah. Kenny
I popped myself on that one. I really did.
This match was, again, it was okay. We saw a lot of offense from Midas Black, which I think is great because, again, you bring these guys in, and if you could benefit from their star power. You do. Not enough to take away from the match, not enough offense to make Carson look bad, just enough to be competitive and give us a nice little, squash match. Not that it was a squash match, but you know what I'm trying to say. It was, it wasn't 50-50 booking. It was just a little bit of competitive and a little bit of a squash. I feel like that's a good way to, if they end up deciding to use that Midas Black down the road, they didn't bury the kid. You know what I mean?
Not enough to make Carson Drake look bad because he could do that all on his own.
Shit. Post match, they had a segment where again Carson Drake kind of ran down Colby Carino and Steve Carino again. That was trying to set up something, and then he was interrupted by Aaron Stevens, who's talking about wasted potential. And there's always been kind of like this unholy alliance between the two, but this is the first time Aaron Stevens was pursuing him to be one of his patrons, one of his
minions,
to be on his roster, I guess, part of the Stevens family, if you will. So that was again, that was at least a promo. It was a decent promo. It could have been a hell of a lot worse. And if it leads to Aaron Stevens managing Carson Drake, that might be a worthwhile endeavor. And it kind of closed out with Stevens saying, "Look, I'll work for free until you sign your first $1 million contract." So it sounds like it might happen, and maybe that means we hear less of Carson Drake on the mic, which I'm all for.
Me too.
Next up, we have the NWA Women's Tag Team Championship match. This match, as the kids say, slapped. This was good. I was very impressed by Tiffany Nieves and Valentina Rossi when we saw them win the tag titles. I was even more impressed when I saw them firsthand defend the tag team titles. Valentina Rossi has been around the block for a while, but she was getting notoriety in working with WOW as part of the alliance.
Wow.
And the pairing with her and Tiffany Nieves works so good. They have similar personalities. They have a similar look, and they're both very aggressive in the ring. And I love watching these girls work. They work very well together. A lot of chemistry, and I've only seen them team 3 times now. Their opponents were Clara Carter and Sierra Vell. They really impressed me as a tag team as well. Billy Corgan noted that he's into goths. No big surprise there. Sierra Vell, I guess her nickname is Dracula's assistant or something. I don't know. It's a vampire thing. I'm not too down with vampires, but they both had a very good look. They both worked well in the ring. This is another can't miss match. I think if you guys are going to tune into Roku, this is definitely one of the matches that I think made Power really, really good this week. And again, we will see Sierra Vell return to the NWA at the 77th anniversary show. She challenges for the television title. And it's just I was again really impressed with this matchup. One of my favorite spots during the match was Valentina Rossi had I think her name is Clara Carter was in the corner, and she did the splits but had her foot on Clara's chest, neck, whatever, kind of choking her against the rope, and then she did the splits, and it was just it looked interesting. I don't know how effective it was, but it looked really interesting. And again, like I said, they were a solid tag team. So I really highly suggest folks checking that match out. Just that match alone is worth watching this week's Power. Then we get another lame-ass segment, and I don't know how else to describe it. Apparently a wrestling fan died and is leaving all of his belongings to a group of NWA wrestlers and managers, and like we see like Tommy Henry, we see Hunter Drake, we see Tyler Frank, we see Kenzie Page, we see Brian Idol and Natalia Markova. They also, as they do when reading a will, they usually have people who don't make it there, like the Kazana brothers, and Kylie was supposed to be there. And next week we'll see the rest of the reading, and Brian Idol asked, well, how much money is this guy worth? And the lawyer said 8 figures.
Action figures?
Yeah, I guess, man. It was not. Again, this kind of shit doesn't further a storyline. It doesn't make me want to turn into Power and be like, hey, this is great. Like, if I want to see poorly done dramas, like I'll go watch Dawson's Creek back from the 90s. Yeah, that too. That's not good either.
What if those figures turn out to be Transformers, though?
Well, look, I would be surprised if that's what this all leads to. Oh, here's your 8 figures. It's like, oh, here's Optimus Prime, Chewie Baka.
Chewie Baka? Is that the Mexican version from Timu? Oh, hey. See?
Hey, oh, okay. Si se puede. Nevertheless, not my favorite. It was just, again, it was a poorly done segment, and I don't know the end of the road for that. I don't know where it's going to end up, but that leads us to...
Does Chewie Baka's Millennium Falcon bounce?
It's got spinners on it, that's for sure. That leads us to one of my other favorite matches this week. We have the man, the myth, the legend, the big bad throwbilly, Silas Mason. And he was in action wrestling against, and I forgot this guy's name, so I'm pulling it up real quick. And by real quick, I mean very, very slow. He takes on
some guy that got fired from Little Caesars.
Basically, his name is Cristiano Argento, who the broadcasting team says he just got back from wrestling in Japan. He is a product of the Exodus Pro group. And as I look here, like I see that he wrestles throughout Pennsylvania. He worked for Big Japan Pro Wrestling. It looks like he wrestled exactly one match. Why are they bragging about him being in Japan? He wrestled one match. I guess that counts, but mostly wrestles in Pennsylvania and Ohio.
Looks like he raids EC3's closet.
Yeah, and that's like, again, he's done some dark matches for AEW, but he's a regular for Exodus Pro. This guy, I mean, he wasn't bad. I'll be quite honest with you. He wasn't bad. The gimmick is a little over the top. I mean, he looks like a goof. He looks like a goof. Maybe he is the goof, but he did wrestle kind of decently.
Looks like somebody slipped him something in his drink before he had to take his picture. Now he's hallucinating. Yeah,
I think you're right. He's hearing voices. Maybe he's like, Randy Orton or something, hearing voices in his head. But I mean, he did have some decent offense. But again, like, this was a match that just further solidified Thrillbilly Silas Mason as the badass that he is. He beats the guy with the thrill ride and joined to the ring with the Southern Six immediately following the match. Kyle Davis comes in very timidly, mind you. It is very respectful to the Southern Six, said he learned respect the hard way. Acknowledges that Kerry and Alex are the NWA US Tag Team Champions. Taylor is the NWA World Junior Heavyweight Champion. And when is Thrillbilly going to get his title? To which Thrillbilly put on this huge, again, prize-winning promo about how, you've got this guy, Tom Latimer, who thinks he's American, but he's from the UK. And he's going all around the world defending that title, but his biggest challenge is right here in the United States, and it's me, Thrillbilly Silas Smith. It was a very good promo, and that's not surprising because Thrillbilly is solid in the ring, but maybe even better on the mic. Again, another fantastic exchange with Thrillbilly Silas Mason, and he basically makes it perfectly clear that he will be coming for the World's Heavyweight Championship at 77. And Noob told me that you forgot about that. He sees her everyone. I guess I tried to block that out. Hey, Zach Velocity, thanks for the heart me on TikTok. I appreciate you. Zach Velocity asked me, hey, what's up with the NWA not showing that women's title match? We talked about it a little bit last week, Zach. Essentially, I think that they never had the actual rights to show the title match. That's why it was really cool that your boy Jay recorded it. And you could see that match on youtube.com/The Alliance blog, because we have fan cam footage, and it was a really good match. I think you'll all enjoy it. The show closes out, Power closes out with Kyle Davis reintroducing the Pope to the Florida audience, to that Tampa audience. And in true Pope fashion, he comes in the ring, demands respect as soon as he gets there, starts cutting a promo before he's interrupted by Mims. And Mims is saying, hey, man, you are the guy that I looked up to when I got here, but I'm not the kid who's still setting up the ring anymore. I'm not the kid that you were teaching lessons to. Now I'm the measuring stick. I'm the barometer, and I don't think you measure up to me. And that fired up Pope, who was ready to go with Mims. And I feel like they might be building towards a Mims-Pope match that we'll probably see at some point in the future. If not at Saul Win, maybe at the TV tapings that follow the 77th anniversary show. Good fire from the Pope. He hasn't lost a step. In his absence from the NWA, he was working with the United Wrestling Network. He's been doing the All Caribbean wrestling in the Dominican and in the Caribbean islands, I guess. So I guess, sorry, I saw a question, and I'll get to you in a second, Zach. It was great to see him back. I want to see more from him. Jade, you had mentioned this is the part of the show that you wanted to see the most. What is it about the Pope that you feel like you need to see so much?
Pope has star power that is sorely missing in the NWA. And I don't mean like necessarily name value. I'm talking about full on star power with 7 R's. Somebody like Thrillbilly is a perfect example. Somebody doesn't have to be a big name. Not everybody has to know who he is, a worldwide name, to be able to showcase to be a major somebody. People just need to see Silas Mason Thrillbilly do this thing, and he can get over and be presented as a big star. The Pope does it by himself.
That's yeah.
He
go ahead.
People might have heard of a little. She's short. Singer out there called Sabrina Carpenter.
Speaking of little,
yeah. When she was on some show, my brother was watching it. It was a sequel of Boy Meets World that I used to watch when I was a kid.
Oh,
I immediately said, yeah, or something like that. I love Topanga. But I could look at the girl and said, I could just see that she was star power. And I said it. I'm like, she's going to probably be the biggest star on the show, and she's going to be a big star. I just immediately knew it. Pope has that same power, that star magnetism, that energy, just the ability to shine brightly. And the NWA needs that right now. They have some things that they're working on that I don't know if you announced yet. I missed the first half hour, but they need something to really be able to grab attention. They need less of like the gags, the gimps, and the stuff that just waste any segments that just waste time. And they need to find a way to focus on people that make Power feel special. And Pope is that. Always has been.
I agree. And we haven't gotten into the announcements. We're gonna. I wanted to do Power first because I didn't know when you were going to come on, and I really wanted to get your feedback on some of the names that have been announced and some of the news that's happened with the NWA. So, without any further ado, let's transition now from Power.
Please always do Power first, by the way.
Yeah, that was the plan. Especially when I was by myself. I figured it'd go by a lot quicker, but then I got distracted. Okay, first and foremost, I don't know how this happened. I don't know why this happened, but your NWA president and franchisor and owner, booker, whatever you want to call him, William Patric Corgan has been or will be awarded the 2025 Excelsior Award by the International Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame. And as you can see on the graphic, it is the award given to a person whose contributions elevated the art of professional wrestling. Warranted or not warranted, Jaden?
Are you trying to base it on his TNA booking or his NWA running? Unwarranted. First of all, Billy Corgan can be a major factor and important part of the NWA, not as just a money mark behind the scenes, but actually could be presented as something to elevate the NWA. But when he's looking like a grandpa, just sitting there doing a pose, that does nothing for the NWA's favor. When he comes out in a purple hoodie, looking like he's anorexic and he's about to fall over, that does nothing for the NWA. Billy Corgan needs to be what Billy Corgan is, and that's a rock star. And that does not look like a rock star. That looks like somebody who was originally breaking rocks in the early 1600s. He's just that does not right there. That is not the Billy Corgan that ever should be representative in anything that he's doing. Billy Corgan should come out with the black eyeliner and the funny outfits and looking like a star. The Muppets did not, when he was in the Muppets for the Dr. Teeth Electric Mayhem special, cheap plug, because I really enjoyed that. It was the best thing that they put out Muppet-wise, I think, in Disney era, including the Muppets movie, which was still pretty decent. But they didn't ask for Grandpa Billy. They asked for Rockstar Billy. And that's what the NWA really should be doing. So, Billy, stop looking like an old fart who just raided his hamper to put something on that day, or got a free outfit from the merchandise table and decided to wear it, and start looking like a rock star.
The thing that's so ironic to me about it is there anybody less intimidating than Billy Corgan? Like, if I'm walking down an alley in the dark and Billy Corgan's on one side and somebody intimidating's on the other, I'm going to walk towards Billy Corgan. He's not threatening or dangerous in any sense. He's got his fist up like he's a fighter. Like, the only thing he's ever fought is the urge to fire a bassist.
Yeah, by the way, be careful, Billy. I see you constantly posting bass videos on your Instagram. And once Billy finds that out, you're gone.
You didn't even give me a cheap pop for the bass joke. Come on, man. That was
because it's all about that bass. Wow. All of that bass. No Corgan.
No Corgan. All right. So I mean, look, I think it's cool that Billy is being recognized. I don't necessarily think I would agree that he has made some contributions that are so above and beyond. He did promote the pro wrestling. Oh, I forgot. Revolution. I don't remember what it was called, but it was in Chicago, and that was the promotion that was heavily influenced the NWA today. Like Marche Rocket worked for them. The Mecha Wolf had worked for them. Harry Smith worked for them. Rhino worked for them. They were very connected to the modern day NWA. And doing that back in 2013, 2014 kind of paved the way for him to do what he did with TNA wrestling. And of course, during that time, TNA, again, I don't really know that TNA benefited from Billy Corgan being involved. I'm sure they enjoyed having his money involved. And I mean, we can acknowledge that Billy has done a lot to help promote the NWA and keep that name alive. But I wouldn't say he's good at it. You know, keeping the NWA name alive is important to me as it is to a lot of NWA fans. But I would much rather it be a better product than what it is right now, you know? And
the problem is everybody thinks of the NWA, they think of Billy Corgan.
Yep.
They fortunately, if the NWA was doing its job, they should think of Thrill Billy, and they should think of Natalia Markova, and they should think of what about me? What about Mondo? And they should think about the women's tag team champions
TVMA.
and TVMA. Yes, I did not. I kept wanting to say something else. And they should think of who the champions are in the NWA, even if the NWA doesn't acknowledge who they are right now. And they should think about the promise and the future on the wrestling, not about Billy Corgan. Billy Corgan should be something as the sprinkles on top, not the entire moldy cupcake.
I could not agree more with you on that. I feel like Billy Corgan he's doing some things right, and I don't know if he gets the credit or if it's the people who are working the NWA with him, but like there's a lot of good talent in the National Wrestling Alliance. There's a lot of really good talent. They just need to be utilized properly, and I don't feel like that's something we get with Captain Billy Corgan. But speaking of big bucks, Billy Corgan, and we'll get to a little bit more about that in a minute. People still calling me Kevin Owens in the chat. Are you sure you're not related to him? Yes, I'm not Canadian. I've never been to Canada. He's never been an American. Anyways, we're going to talk about Big Bucks Billy in a minute, but I want to talk about Alex Taylor because he has made history. Alex Taylor, 1/3 of the Southern Six, and your current U.S. Tag Team Champion with Kerry Morton. They won last year's Crockett Cup, but more importantly, he has now bumped Tiger Mask to be the 10th longest reigning World Junior Heavyweight Champion. Because again, he has held onto that belt for 446 days. And immediately, the first thing that I thought of was, no way has Alex Taylor had more title defenses than Tiger Mask. Surely these aren't even comparable. Alex Taylor has had to have had so many fewer matches than Tiger Mask. Tiger Mask was working in New Japan Pro Wrestling, for crying out loud. He had 2 separate title reigns. Tiger Mask held that title back in 2006 and held that title through 2007. And then again in 2015 through 2016. And in that combined 445 days, or however long he held the title for, he had a total of 12 title defenses. Alex Taylor, who's held the belt now since 2024 when he beat Joe Alonzo for the title, has had 12 title defenses. So they've actually had the same amount of title defenses. And clearly Tiger Mask held the belt much, much longer. And we know that Taylor has 12 recognized title defenses. I don't know how many he's had outside of the NWA or, matches that weren't advertised as title matches, but ended up being title matches. And there's also another set of TV tapings that we don't have results for just yet. But I guess, man, it's congratulations to Alex Taylor holding on to that belt for 446 days. At the time when he beat Joe Alonzo, it felt like it was just a stopgap and that we would see a new champion soon. 446 days later, he's still the man.
A, he's looking ripped in that pic. B, in Japan, they don't defend the title very often. So that actually does not surprise me, because if he was defending it in New Japan Pro Wrestling, he probably had 8 of those 12 defenses there, or 13 or whatever. And because they just don't defend championships very often in Japan. It's always been that way.
So let me just real quick run down Tiger Mask. And this is the 4th Tiger Mask, Tiger Mask 4. Let me just run down his accomplishments or the title defenses. He was the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. And, he was. And then he lost that belt to the Black Tiger Mask 4, who was the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion, Rocky Romero. So on February 19th, 2006, Tiger Mask takes both belts and then would go on to defend against Minoru, who's a former IWGP World Junior Heavyweight Champion. I know I'm going to butcher some of these names, so prepare to laugh, Jaden. Wataru Unoi, Ryosuke Takauchi, Milano Collection AT twice. Then he defended the NWA World title against Negro Casas.
Junior title.
the NWA World Junior Heavyweight title.
Good.
Then would go on, and then his first tour of the United States as champion, he would defend against Jason Dukes at the the Milwaukee All-Star Wrestling. And then he would defend against Loki. And that was a match that we all at the time kind of thought Loki was going to win. And that was at NWA Midwest, No Gimmicks Needed. And then he lost the title to Mike Quackenbush at FSM on May the 11th, 2007.
Who probably had less championship matches, by the way, than either Alex Taylor or Tiger Mask in his reign.
Yeah, and he held it for probably a lot more days, too. Then his second run as champion, he would defeat Steve Anthony in Japan at Okayama, or Destruction in Okayama. And that would be his second victory as champion. Then he would defend against Jushin Thunder Liger December of that year. And then in March of 2016, he would lose the belt back to Steve Anthony at the Invasion Attack 2016. Didn't come back to the U.S. for that. So although great run as champion, represented the NWA, didn't have a ton of title defenses. And then you go look at Alex Taylor, who in the last 2 years, he had a match against Crazy Steve at JCW. He defended against Jack Cartwheel. He defended against Joe Ocasio. He defended against Slade. He defended against Luke Curtis. That will be at next week's TV tapings. He defended against, which is crazy, AJ Kazana at a Joe Kazana Promotions show. And then he also defended against Rich Swan at the NWA 77. So all of that to say is, man, pretty cool for Alex Taylor. And I guess my next question is, who do you think is going to be the man to take the belt off of him?
I'm impressed, first of all, because that AJ Kazana match, he was taking that Buddy Rose blowaway diet to get ready for it.
Yes, sir.
He was down to 217 pounds. That.
Yeah, they did a couple of hokey things with Joe Kazana Promotions, because they did with Joe Kazana, not Joe Kazana, AJ Kazana, excuse me. But then they also did another, like a triple threat match where he defeated Jake Painter and Lord Crew. And Lord Crew is anything but a junior heavyweight. So
you've had your wrestling debut recently. When are you going to challenge for that title?
I'm not a junior heavyweight.
You're working your way there?
I am. It's funny. Noob just said we need to do a retrospective on Tiger Mask on the show one day. We kind of did. During COVID, we did a whole look back at the junior heavyweight title and its lineage that dates back to, I guess, like 1950 something.
As old as the NWA, isn't it?
Yeah, not the junior. The junior heavyweight title is not quite as old as the NWA, but it's right up there. And we talked about Tiger Mask, we talked about Jushin Liger, we talked about Laserman Lou, we talked about a lot of the greats from back in the day.
Did you name? Can anybody in the chat name the other three Tiger Masks?
I couldn't name them. I know who one of them is, but he passed away. Misawa, right?
Misawa was the second Tiger Mask, yes. Koji Katao was the third. Yeah. And Satomi Satayama was the first.
And that dude's a real asshole in real life. Like, he trains people, he beats them with a stick. It's wild.
I wish somebody would beat Dave Dahl with a stick. With a nub on it, too.
What, with one of those like little pointers on it, so you can poke them in the eye while you're doing it?
Just like one of those little nubs, so that extra point just hits a little harder.
So you want to talk about Saul Wynn?
Do I?
It's kind of cool.
Okay. I guess I do.
First of all, Billy Corgan wrote a song called Saul Wynn, but in the song, he didn't know how to pronounce the name, so he goes, Samhain, Samhain. And you're just like, so what should have told him before he recorded it that he was mispronouncing it. Have you ever? Anyway.
And I knew it was mispronounced because I dated a lot of witches, both figuratively and literally. Those pagans seem to really get attracted to the solar powered love machine.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Billy Corgan's not the only one into goth girls, but I'm just not into goth girls as much as I wish I was. You know the best thing about vampires? Oh, yeah, I like to be in the goth girls every single day. And then, speaking of vampires, you know the best thing about vampires is they like to suck.
Hey-oh!
Forgot I wanted to do those jokes when you were about going on.
I appreciate that.
You brought it back up with it.
I guess I did. I guess it's my fault.
And I actually like to date freaks. You know why? Because I like to get freaky. Go ahead now.
Yeah.
I'll be her all week.
Try the veal. Let me see. I wanted to pull up a graphic, and I guess I didn't have it ready, so I'm searching for it real quick. There it is. Okay, so we've had a few matches announced for Samhain. Swan. And it just slipped out too. I was like, that wasn't unintentional. That wasn't intentional.
Could have played it off. I would have known. I thought it was. Yeah, I thought you did a good job. I didn't think there was no extra N in there.
So look, the title of this episode is Big Bucks Billy because Billy Corgan, after the fallout from Crockett Cup 2025, we got to see some kind of bigger names compete for the National Wrestling Alliance. Of course, we saw Natty Neihart, although that match you didn't see unless you were watching Jake Howell's YouTube match on the Alliance blog. But we also had Hammerstone make his debut for the NWA, and we got to see Rhino, which is kind of a big deal. I mean, he's a former NWA champion, and they were in the ECW arena. These are big gets. They also had the Colognes, former WWE World Tag Team Champions. Again, bringing in some kind of more valued names.
Crazy
in the
Steve
past,
too. He doesn't get a credit, but Crazy Steve was a nice addition to that Crockett Cup. I was happy to see him, and he looked very good.
You're absolutely right. And it's, and I'm not saying that Trevor Murdoch doesn't have name value and Mike Knox, they both had a fair amount of time in the WWE. I'm not saying that that's not important, but they are now considered NWA regulars. So when you see them on the card, I just think of them as NWA talent. I don't think of them as like, oh, that's a guy that used to be in the WWE. No, that's former two-time NWA World Champion, Trevor Murdoch. So it's kind of neat that the NWA is looking to bring in some names for Swan. And the first one, of course, we've already talked about, but they are bringing in Matt Cardona. He makes his return to the NWA. We haven't seen him in an NWA ring in a while. We don't know what capacity we're going to see Mr. Matt Cardona in, but it was also recently announced that we're going to see the return of Hammerstone because Hammerstone will be taking on Trevor Murdoch. We talked about this matchup last week and how all of us on the show are super excited to see it, and I feel like that's going to be a great deal for the NWA to have that matchup in their back pocket. Our pal DKM said that's a match. If it was local, he would go based on that match alone, and I think we all agreed with that.
Yes.
The other match that they just recently announced, we'll see Rich Swan returning to the NWA. He'll challenge for the TV title, and the last time we saw Rich Swan, he was advertised to be challenging for the NWA Junior Heavyweight title, which he came up short against Alex Taylor. Now he's going to have his shot at Brian Idol, who is your current TV champion. He won that at the Crockett Cup. But then, going back to Star Power, they just announced Shottzi Blackheart. I find it interesting they didn't put her name on the poster, but we all know who that is. Coming off of her big run in the WWE, she's been on the independents, mostly working, coincidentally enough, with Matt Cardona in that GCW loop. Also has been competing in Maple Leaf Pro. So it's kind of cool to see, again, a woman of prominence, had a pretty solid run in the WWE. She'll be making her debut for the NWA. And lastly, we have the title match set up between the Immortals taking on Blunt Force Trauma. These teams have had some hellacious battles over the last 2 years, honestly. We were there at the 76th anniversary show, Jaden, where Damage chopped Kratos so loud. It was the loudest chop I'd ever heard at a live professional wrestling event. And honestly, I can't wait for them to run this back because I feel like BFT is one of those few teams who could really stand toe-to-toe with Kratos and Odinson. And, I don't really know what'll happen next.
Okay. I do like that match. I did enjoy them beating the crap out of each other.
Yeah.
So I think I would probably enjoy that match. That's another big men beating the crap out of other big men. You can do the whole meaty thing you want, but that's just two. That's four bulls going at each other full force, and I look forward to that one a lot. So actually, this card's shaping up to be interesting to me. Shottzi I wasn't a fan of her. I wasn't not a fan. She was just okay, in my opinion, but she definitely fits the theme, and she does have a unique look that does stand out. And so I think that is wise, and I think Cardona is wise. I know DK will argue because he doesn't like him, and I do think that the NWA has never used him to his fullest potential, and I do think I hate the garbage stuff that he does. Nowadays, the king of the crap match, the shit match. But
sure.
I said when he was Zack Ryder and he was still in the WWE, if he ever got to the independents, he was going to be the biggest thing on the independents. I didn't quite see him taking the route that he did, but I'm glad I was right about that. And when used properly, he can make anybody a lot of money.
I will admit I'm not a big Matt Cardona fan. I'm not, but I do see the advantage of using him. I also feel like, unfortunately, it feels like a lot of times his booking in the NWA is reflective of a booking he had in GCW. And like Dave Scooby even acknowledged that in the chat. He says, will Shottzi go after Cardona like she did in GCW? Could Killer Cross show up? And I mean, look, you never want to pull the cart before the horse. But, man, Killer Cross would be the guy that if I could have him on my card, I would have him on the card. And we haven't had an announcement for the world title match yet. And I'm just saying, if the cards align, it would be pretty phenomenal to see a talent like Killer Cross in the NWA challenge from that world heavyweight title. Fingers crossed. Like, I don't know who you're going to put in the world title match. Obviously, we're not talking. I mean, we've already talked the spoilers. So if you guys were expecting us to shelter you from that, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that. Thurbilly Silas Mason is your world's heavyweight champion, and I couldn't think of a better opponent for him than somebody of the caliber like Killer Cross. That would be a test to his ability in the ring. It would add a huge spotlight into that match, and it would make it must-see for a lot of pro wrestling fans. They're going to be at Center Stage in Atlanta. That place has a pretty large capacity for wrestling. What better place than to have Killer Cross make his NWA debut? I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's wishful thinking, guys. But if he were to be the one to challenge Silas Mason for the 10 pounds of gold, what do you think about that?
I don't think it should happen here. I think if he's going to show up, it should be a surprise. The idea is to get people to talk about the NWA, and having him immediately in that match talks for a short term, but they need long-term stuff. They need constant buzz. And, they need something like that. Is another idea, since if you're going to use Cardona and Shottzi's there, what about Tommy Invincible? He's not well-liked in the wrestling end of it, but the fans sure as hell love him, and he's got a hell of a buzz right now. And if you're going to do buzz, why not Ben Bishop?
Yeah, a lot of buzz with Ben Bishop.
Even if the WWE decided not to take him again on a second try, doesn't mean it's not on their radar. Maybe he's just not ready yet. But the NWA could put a possible spotlight on him while he puts a spotlight on the NWA. Jack Vaughn, he's already been part of the NWA. He was never featured prominently. He also has a little bit of buzz to him. This is where I think a Richard Holiday could mean something because he's starting to make a name for himself beyond what he already has. The NWA should be leeching on, I hate to say leeching, but it's word work, on anything they can to create buzz because they had it with Natty and they dropped the ball and now people are shitting all over them for it. This is the chance to regain some of that, to actually do something with it.
I 100% agree with all of that. So if you had the opportunity to play fantasy booker for just a moment, you mentioned Ben Bishop, you mentioned Rich Holiday, you mentioned Tommy Invincible. Who would you put into the main event at Samhain against the World's Heavyweight Championship and Silas Mason?
Matt Cardona. Matt Cardona right now is at the perfect right up there for that. And then after that match comes over, lights go off because I hate that stereotype, but all wrestling fans and the shindy seem to love it. And then the lights come back, or not even that, lights go off, and until the lights come back on, Spotlight comes out, and Scarlett starts singing. And all of a sudden, here comes Cross, shave his head, look like a killer again, or do something that he doesn't look like a hair model and should be doing shampoo ads. But have him come out looking like it's solid. It's going to be ominous. Come out looking ominous. Come down to the ring, stare one-on-one with Thrillbilly, and then have Scarlett distract Thrillbilly, and then Cardona lay him out. I meant Cardona. Cross lay him out. Then you have some buzz for the next thing. Then you have Scarlett and Cross there in the studios. You get some more mileage out of them, having the promos, doing some scary promos instead of stupid skits. Really well produced stuff. Have him out there destroying people. Have Scarlett come down to the ring while Thrillbilly's there and bring some kind of icon like the stupid thing they used to do with the time clock or something like that. Bring something down so people know and build that match. Build anticipation and build it so people want to see it. Of course, that would mean they would have to change things around and have better follow through with storylines and TV tapings and actually have things come out a lot sooner. But yeah, that's what I would do right then and there. For Bishop or for Cross, or for Tommy Invincible, I'd find ways to capitalize on their name. I mean, Ben Bishop's a decent wrestler. Somebody wanted him against Talos. I would never do that to the poor guy.
What about Ben Bishop and Tommy Invincible against EC3 and PB Smooth?
Okay. I don't hate it. I don't like it either, but I don't hate it.
Yeah. All right. Fair.
But there's also there's other talent out there. Like, I know there's some wrestlers who want to be part of the NWA to get a shine, and I hope to start seeing them. I can't say it because I'm not supposed to, but I know there's somebody out there that wants to be part of the NWA that's got a bit of a name out there, and he may or may not be. I don't know if he was at that taping or not. Yeah. But there are people out there that can gain some real buzz in the NWA if they just knew how to grab a hold of it and keep a hold of it. That's the problem. When they finally get it, then they drop the ball. They're like the Anaheim Angels or Anaheim or whatever they're called. They drop the ball. They strike out. Yeah. I don't even know. I don't even know, honestly. I don't know anything about. I used to play baseball and was okay, but I really just never got into baseball.
Sure.
My only thing I like about baseball is the Major League movies. I even like the third one. Back to the Minors.
Sure. Noob brings up a question, and it's on the screen here. Who's Natalia Markova going to defend the title against at Samhain? And he would like to see her cosplay in her match. Of course. Why wouldn't you, Noob? I mean, I think that's, if I'm booking it, I would be putting Shottzi in that match. I feel like it's a very high-profile match. Shottzi has name value. Markova has been killing it. Markova deserves to have a spotlight shined on her. And with that being said, that would allow Kenzie and Kylie to maybe team up to take on TVMA, and you'd have a very solid women's tag team title match. I'm not saying that you even have to change any titles, but just having those matchups, I think, lends the credibility. Right now, Kylie is kind of just been doing whatever. Like she has no real direction. They're not pushing her towards the TV title. They're not pushing her towards the tag titles. She's just kind of existing. And we know that we know that Markova wins the title at 77 at the expense of Kenzie Page. She needs a new course too. Like, I don't want to see Kenzie challenge Markova again for the title so soon. Down the road, absolutely. I think they should face off more than once and frequently, but not the first title defense coming back. What do you think about that, Jaden?
That's actually a good idea. I like the idea of the tag match, Kylie and Kenzie versus TVMA. I like Shottzi. I again said that's the right opponent there because he's not going to bring continual buzz. Shottzi will, if she stays in the NWA, that might be a good thing. She does have a unique look that can be put on a poster that can stand out. What's the name value? She can do something, but she's not going to create long-term buzz for the NWA. But that short-term, that match against Markova could do a small modicum of repairing of the respect of the NWA for the match we didn't get to see with Natalya. So that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I think so.
Since I'm going to do Tommy Invincible, or like you're talking about that, like too, Tommy Invincible versus Alex Taylor for the Junior Heavyweight Championship.
Okay.
And Ben Bishop versus, what about me? What about Mondo?
For the national title, huh?
Yeah, I like that idea.
What do you do with Mims and the Pope?
Against each other.
Yeah. What do you do with Alex Misery?
Well, him and Crazy Steve had to do something.
There are a few other matches that still need to be booked. Obviously, we're just speculating right now, and we'll get more into the Saw win as the card approaches. But it's shaping up to be a really solid card. I'm excited about it, and like I said, the NWA had a really good Crockett Cup. I was very impressed with Crockett Cup, and although the TV was just okay, in my opinion, the event itself was very good. These TV tapings so far from Tampa, one episode in, I had no problem with it. Thought it was a very good show. I guess my only problems were the skits, and they're always going to be the skits, and I can't change that because the skits are the shits. But it is what it is, so we'll just keep that the way it is.
Alex Misery and Crazy Steve versus the Slam Balls.
Perfect. Yep. We just booked a really good Saw win. Like a very good Saw. Like, okay, you need something for EC3, you need something for Tom Latimer, you need something for PB Smooth. But outside of that, I mean, got a national title match. They already have the TV title booked. They already have the women's. Well, they don't have any of the women's matches officially announced. You've got a World Heavyweight Championship match we booked. We've got, and I don't think any of the names we've suggested are crazy to think that they could show up in an NWA ring. Ben Bishop, the fans want it. Tommy Invincible, he kind of runs in that Cardona crowd. Shotzi's already been announced. Hammerstone's already on the card. Rich Swan's already on the card. I mean, I think we did a pretty good show. We booked a pretty good event already.
So who are we missing? We're missing EC3, Peanut Butter Smooth, Latimer. Who else did you say?
I guess Carson Drake doesn't have anything yet.
So what about PB Smooth, Peanut Butter Smooth, and EC3 versus Carson Drake and Damian Sandow in a rematch from...
Okay.
So then you have some star power and some young guys getting a rub, and then we still have. How about
Kerry Morton?
Kerry Morton. How about Kerry Morton versus Alexander Hammerstone? I'm sorry, Richard Holiday to get some revenge for what's going on with the. With the Southern Six where they attacked Hammerstone. So how about Holiday versus Kerry Morton, and then that leaves Latimer.
Yeah.
How about Latimer versus Breckenball Legursky?
Oh shit! Yeah. Look, that's a solid card. That would go 100%. That would be a fun show to watch.
Am I missing anybody?
So I'm going through the notes here, right? So like, this is who they have scheduled to appear. The debut of Shottzi, world's heavyweight champion Tom Latimer. We know he's not world champion anymore. The Page sisters, Murdoch versus Hammerstone, Idol versus Swan for the TV title. Southern Six and Throughbilly Silas Mason. Excuse me. We know that Silas Mason's going to be wrestling. Taylor and Morton, the complete Matt Cardona, TVMA, Mims, Markova, EC3, and Pretty Boy Smooth, Carson Bartholomew Drake, and the Slime Balls. I think you hit everything.
Yeah. And he got a good card, and it's not 14 matches yet. I'm sure we'll still have some filler in there.
Yeah. And I think we even gave him some extra matches to throw together, too. Like, there's nothing so far. Daisy Kill hasn't been announced for anything. Mondo hasn't been announced.
But again, I would do Mondo and Ben Bishop.
That's right.
Yeah. So Daisy Kill. How about trying to think who else is on the roster? Trying to get back there
versus Spencer Slade would be a great match.
No, but I think Daisy Kill and Spencer Slade might be fun.
Yeah, it would be fun. Yeah.
I still say Daisy Kill has more than they're showing.
He had a good promo this week too. He talks about how he sent Talus away, and everyone thought that Daisy Kill was protecting them from Talus, but in reality, Talus was protecting them from Daisy Kill. So that we could see a darker, more broody version of Daisy Kill, and I don't have a problem with that.
Anybody else we could think of? I mean, because again, they have to do 15 matches because that's just how the NWA is.
You know, all the TV taping stuff too. No, I think that's it. And that's a really solid card, man. I think that's a like, you don't need to bring Joe Ocasio into this. You don't need Mario Pardua, your NWA Chicago title, a champion. We don't necessarily need the Texas champion or the Carson Drake will be there, but you don't necessarily need representation from every single territory. You don't need that on a show like this.
What about the Kazanas?
We forgot the Kazanas. Maybe. What about Kazana and the Kazanas versus Pretty Boy Smooth and EC3?
I already had them booked, remember?
That's right.
How about the Kazanas versus the Colognes?
I think that'd be a good match too. Yeah.
First time matchup.
Sean Vega says it'll probably be 22 matches. Yeah. Real quick, shout out to Wrestle Rant for the heart. We appreciate you, sir. And that's a pretty well booked card, man. I think we did a pretty good job with that. But
that's just spitballing, throwing things together. That's not even like if I was in charge, I would have had everything built up. But that's just me.
Yeah.
What about me? What about Jaden Doe?
So we also know that this weekend, starting tomorrow, the Riot Fest is taking place in Chicago, Illinois. You're going to have, along with Green Day, Blink-182, and Weird Al Yankovic, you're also going to have Silas Mason. Oh, wow, that's the first time they made that mistake.
What's that? They called an NWA champion?
Yeah, and they called Natalia Markova champion, too.
Who's doing the poster?
I don't know. This is on their website. It says, this partnership allows fans at the music festival to see the top musical acts like Blink-182, Green Day, as well as the stars of the NWA. The lineup includes world's heavyweight champion Silas Mason, women's world champion Natalia Markova, the Overlord EC3, NWA TV champion Brian Idol, Aaron Stevens, and more. And on the poster, it also includes Tom Latimer, Aaron Stevens, Alex Taylor, Kenzie Page, Carson Drake. So, and that's going to be part of the 3-day festival. It's September 19th, 2021. This is one of those times where I wish they did fan cam stuff. I wish that they would film stuff just for the YouTube audience so that we could see some of these matches, because it's like, nothing ventured, nothing gained. I don't think anyone would be too upset about that. Real quick,
I hope Weird Al Yankovic beats up Carson Drake.
It should be Daisy Kills because Daisy should be playing the ukulele and Weird Al the accordion, and then hits him with the accordion. Wrestle Rant says, "Bring back the Mall of American Heavyweight Championship." Just goofing. Sean Omega says some wrestlers need to pull double duty in tag matches. I don't know if I mean from what Jaden and I kind of put together for Saul Win. I mean you could. I don't think it's necessary, but you could. I think in a perfect world you'd have Tiffany Nieves defend both the tag titles and the TV title, because if she defends one at the pay-per-view or at the Signature Live event, then that means we won't see the other title for a while. And I don't like that. I think they should, and that's another reason why they shouldn't have both titles. They should move those titles around. As we get close to wrapping up the show, I just want to run down more events that are coming up for the NWA. Of course, the NWA will be on tour September 26th in Glendale, New York. Again, on September 27th in Melville, New York. The usual suspects: Joe Ocasio, Tom Latimer, Brian Idol, Markova, Kylie Page, and Wrecking Ball Legursky, the Slime Balls. And, and those are like both nights of wrestling. Then also on the territories on August that's already passed. August 22nd. Never mind. October 3rd is the actual date. They just listed it wrong on the website. Billy, hire a better editor for your website. Bring back Poyo. What's going on? Fallout on October 3rd will be the next Chicago event. Polish Power, Mario Pardua will be in action. The Crush, Markova. Trevor Murdoch looks at Kill, Brian Idol. Aaron Stevens, Daisy Kill, more to be announced. Black Harvest 10. This is like the signature event for NWA Crossfire. Will take place over October 3rd and October 4th in Seaverville, Tennessee. Some of the names that will be connected to this event: Rosemary from TNA, Rich Swan, Ken Anderson, Juventud Guerrera. You are a Crossfire World Champion, by the way. The Page Sisters, Kenzie, Kylie, Mr. Anderson, and in a special appearance, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. On October the 11th, you have Hexodus, which is the next NWA Exodus Pro event that will feature in the main event, El Jaguar, Dante Casanova defending the NWA Midwest title against J-Rock. You'll also feature the NWA Exodus Women's Champion, Marty Bell, EC3, Pretty Boy Smooth, and more. I'm sure Carson Drake will be on that show. Then
He's the and more.
Yeah. Fight the World Wrestling makes its return on October the 18th in St. Petersburg, Florida. This will be the night after Saul Win, so we might see some fallout from Saul Win. But already announced for that show, Brian Idol, Markova, Daisy Kills, Mike Mondo, and of course more. So there's a lot of events coming up for the fall and for the NWA. You can get tickets on their website at nationalwrestlingalliance.com/live events. And you can make the NWA part of your fall holiday celebration. Steve G just pointed out that Ken Anderson was on TNA tonight. I don't think that prevents him from working the NWA. Jaden, we know that Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators has a lot going on. Is there something you would like to promote?
We do have a private event coming up on Thursday afternoon, October 2nd, starts at 12 noon, the middle of the day on a Thursday, at the Rowan College of Burlington County. Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiator action will be happening. You'll see the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators heavyweight champion, Vinny the Fixer, who just recently successfully defended the championship for the 8th time since winning it. He will be defending it at the Rowan College of Burlington County event. He also will see the World Wrestling Grand Prix heavyweight champion David Goldie, who recently successfully defended against Ring of Honor superstar and one of the most talented wrestlers I know in Rhett Titus. You also see the World Wrestling Grand Prix women's champion Valerie Verman, who will be defending it against Tiffany, Tiphani. So she'll be defending against Tiffany at the Rowan College of Burlington County for the World Wrestling Grand Prix Women's Championship. The Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators Tag Team Championships will be on the line, as the Primal Fear will be defending the Dog Tag Team titles against a challenger to be named. You'll also see, considering Primal Fear, Adrian Soriano, who's the third member of that trifecta. He will be defending, not defending, but he will be wrestling. He just recently won the Rowan After Hours Cup. There was a tournament at Rowan, and he just won that. Now he's going to be wrestling at Rowan College of Burlington County. Wrecking Ball Legursky will be, I'm sorry, not Wrecking Ball Legursky. No, I'm sorry. Ba will be there, and he will be taking on Dylan Mesh. He's already squashed Connor the Flag Boy. He's already squashed Dave Dahl. Now will he do the same to Dylan? Who knows? A lot of top wrestling action will be there. A lot of top wrestling superstars will be there. And of course, so will Daredevil Dave Dahl. Get your tickets by joining the Rowan College of Burlington County and becoming a student there. And then the tickets are free.
That's right. You just got to enroll. That's all you need to do, man.
Enroll in Rowan College of Burlington County, and you can get free dog pro wrestling action.
I mean, I think, look, that's solid advice because, I mean, you could do a lot with a formal education. You know, a formal education is going to take you places.
Yes. Like school.
Like school. How many years is it now, Jaden?
I got 2 more years, less than 2 years to go now.
Oh, that's beautiful. You know what? I'm proud of you. And I don't think you hear that enough, but I'm proud of you. It's really awesome that you are able to, every plate that you're spinning and going to school. I think that's really impressive, and I'm proud of you.
Yes, I'm working full-time, mostly full-time. I'm going to school. I help with Dr. Zirconium running Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators. I help run a lot of their social media, which is funny because I hate social media. How the hell did I get in that job? I think somebody believes in irony.
I think you just forgot how to say no sometimes.
I definitely know it's not that big paycheck Dr. Zirconium gives. He's cheap. I got to go on strike. We need a union.
I'm still waiting for my payola from the last time the dog had an event.
What was he offering you? Free gynoplasty or something?
A hot dog and a handshake.
You're lucky you get one than the other. In fact, both of them are full of diseases.
Oh, gross. All right. I think that's going to do it for us this evening. Again, I appreciate you guys hanging out with us on this Thursday night. We went a little light, but I feel like that was a solid show, man. And I really appreciate Jaden getting in here early as he could to talk some NWA with you guys. We will be back next Thursday. Hopefully we'll be joined by DKM and Rick Del Santo next week as well. I'm very much looking forward to next week's Power. And I think we'll have a lot of fun things to talk about, as I'm sure the NWA will release more matches for Saul Win and, get this ball rolling. But thank you guys for hanging out with us here on the Alliance Blog. You can follow us on all social media at the Alliance Blog. And until next time, we will see you, if I can find out how to do this, because I'm still not used to it yet, at the matches.
Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Hope Jay was going to start talking over this while I was doing the theme song, but he didn't get the hands. Do 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 do.
Thank you for tuning in to the Alliance Blog Podcast, a presentation of alliance-wrestling.com. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the talk NWA. And until next time, we'll see you at